Good morning, everyone. My name is Karsten Gundry, and I am a business major at Midway University. So, for my presentation today, I'd like to talk about a topic that has become incredibly common among young adults in our day and age here, and that is the topic and the problem of vaping with young adults. So many of us have probably seen our friends vape, or we could have even tried vaping ourselves. And this is because it's just been marketed as something that is such a cool alternative to smoking. It seems harmless for the everyday user that does it. It's seen as trendy and even seen as fun for the young adults in our world. But that is just far from the truth. Vaping is far from harmless. And I'd like to ask you guys to reconsider vaping today in this presentation. I'm not trying to lecture or do something like that, but I'd just like to provide the facts so that you guys can make your own educated decision at the end of the day, because it really is your decision. So vaping, yes, it affects your wellness. They can be harmful in your life, but it can also affect your future. It can affect your life in the workplace eventually after you leave college or high school as you try to get a job. People will look at stuff like that in a certain way, and it can also affect your wallet. Just because of the cost of going out and buying all the different flavors and buying the new vapes and stuff as they come out. So let's get into some of the health risks of vaping. It's just some of the stuff that they don't tell you about when you are going in to buy a vape, or they're marketing it to these young kids. So many people think vaping is safer than smoking and cigarettes. And while it's true that vapes don't really contain tobacco, that doesn't mean that they're really safe. A lot of vapes contain nicotine that is highly addictive, and it is just the same that is in traditional cigarettes, if not even in vapes more than it is in those the traditional cigarettes. Many vaping devices can contain higher levels of nicotine than that of regular cigarettes. So this nicotine that is inside of the vapes, it has a large effect on your brain as for these young adults, especially for the young adults that are under the age of 25. It can do things such as impact memory, it can impact concentration, and it can even have an impact on your ability to control impulses and stuff of that matter. Over time, it's able to rewire your brain and kind of make the nicotine be a craving to where quitting is even more challenging for the user. And that's not even talking about the lungs yet. The vapor that is being inhaled isn't just that of water vapor. It's not harmless water vapor. It contains chemicals like formaldehyde, heavy metals, and even particles that can damage the lung tissue itself. So, like in cases, there's stuff such as popcorn lung, and this is serious lung disease that is linked to chemicals that is found in some of those vape flavors. Some young people have ended up in the hospital with severe lung injuries, struggling to breathe, all because of vaping. When I was in high school, I actually had a good buddy that woke up one morning absolutely unable to breathe at all, and he had been a vape user since he was probably in 6th grade middle school. He's been vaping every day since then. So it has a major effect on him, and he woke up and was unable to breathe and had to go to the emergency room because of this popcorn lung. So a question I'd like to challenge you with is a temporary buzz that you would get from the vape and from the nicotine, is it really worth risking your ability to breathe, right? I mean, is it really that important to have that little moment in time that you're getting that buzz from the nicotine where down the road in your future it can impact your lungs and it can impact your health, right? You got to think about it from that perspective. And then another side to it is the financial cost of it, like I said earlier, with how it impacts your wallet. Vaping it's super expensive. A disposable vape in today's age might cost anywhere from $10 to $20. And if you're using one vape once a week, that money's going to add up really fast. Over a year, you could be spending hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars. And this is all money that could go towards your life. It could go towards a car. It could go towards a vacation. It could go towards your future, you know. That's money that could be saving, that you could be saving down the road, and you're spending it on vaping and other stuff of that matter. And you're spending all this money, and these companies are just making billions and billions of dollars off of these young adults, which is also another problem. They're just making all these new flavors constantly that are they're making all these new flavors constantly that are just bringing in more and more money for themselves. There's new flavors like cotton candy or mango or whatever that they're creating. And these new flavors that they keep coming out with, they just make vaping continue to seem fun and new, and they don't make it to where the user has any thought about how it can affect their health. All they want is just the money from the user. Another angle to look at it is from the social factor, right? The social perspective of it. A lot of people start vaping because their friends do it, and it's just a fad, it's a trend, and so they hop on in order to fit in, you know? But is it really worth looking cool and fitting into the group to risk your health, right? I mean, you're risking harming yourself just to fit in with your friends and just to be part of that group. And you just got to look at it from that angle, and make your decision based on stuff like that, right? Being in control of your own decision is a powerful thing. Saying no to vaping, it doesn't really make you look uncool. It really makes you look like someone that's educated, someone that's smart, because you have an understanding of the health factors and the wallet factors and stuff of that matter that could really impact your future and impact your life. You're smart enough to see that it's not worth the risk. It's not worth all of that to completely hurt yourself just to fit in or look cool or something like that. And for those of you that I could be speaking to that already vape, quitting might seem to be something that's difficult or really impossible, you know? But it's completely possible. Plenty of people, millions of people for that matter, have done it, and they've been fine. They've lived through it. And there are a multitude of resources out there that are existing that help in quitting. And the key to it is just making a decision to put yourself first, right? Like I've said this entire time. Think about all of the negative impacts that can come with vaping before thinking about whether it's going to make you look cool, whether it's going to make you fit in, whether it's really worth it, right? The negative impacts and stuff like that have to come first. So with all that in mind, here's my challenge to you guys today. Think clearly, think openly, and just think about your future as a person. Think about what you want to do for yourself. Think about what you want to do for your health and your dreams in life and your money and stuff of that matter. And then go ahead and ask yourself whether or not vaping fits into that future, right? Where do you want to be in 10 years? Do you want to be 30 years old still vaping? Or do you want to have piled up that money over time that you've spent on vaping for the next 10 years and use it and put it to something good, put it to something that can help you in your future? For those of you that don't vape, don't start. If you do, take a step towards quitting, right? For those of you that do vape, try to work towards that quitting step. Talk to friends who vape, encourage them to rethink it as well, right? Spread the message to everybody. It's not a habit that you have to be trapped into. And it's a habit that benefits these big corporations and companies, right? We're smarter than that. We're stronger than that. You have the power to make your choices and your own. You have the power to make your own choices, and you have your own personal will, and you can shape your future in a positive way. So let's choose health. Let's choose to be free, and let's go ahead and choose to stop vaping. Thank you.